We are now in the Project Agent Builder, the newest approach and place to create your AI agents, or in other words, a conversational AI agent that we had seen in our SAP Analytics dashboard in the earlier video. In fact, what you're looking at right now is actually the lab preview of the Project Agent Builder, and this is currently on the roadmap for H1 2025 with the newer innovations coming out to it. Now, in this video, I'm going to take you through the Project Agent Builder and break down the conversational AI that we saw in the earlier video. The first thing that I'm going to do here is actually select the AI agent used in our video earlier, or in other words, the same AI agent used by that gas provider company. When we click into it, there's several things that you may notice. The first is the key description here. So in the key description, we can see that upon creating it, we had defined the expertise, which is the operation and data expert working for that gas provider company, as well as with specific instructions on how to assess the data and how to respond with specific types of questions, as well as what columns of the data and queries to focus on. Here we also have identified the maximum thinking steps, and we can also see what large language model is being used by the AI agent, which in this case is the OpenAI GPT-4o large language model. As we have discussed in this blog, the agent is comprised of multiple tools. In fact, we can see these tools listed out here that the agent is using. The first tool is the HANA tool. And in other words, this tool is actually pulling the same data that we see on our SAP Analytics Cloud dashboard from the HANA database. In fact, one of the key things to keep in mind here is that this represents your enterprise data. With this HANA data tool, a best practice that you must always keep in mind is to also upload your schema semantics. In fact, you can upload it within a JSON format where you're actually identifying the semantics of each of the columns. By doing so, you'll ensure the semantics of your data attributes and measures are accurately captured by the agent. The other two tools can also be viewed as somewhat external data in this use case. For an example, here we see that we have a web search tool, meaning that we have attached a specific URL. In this case, it has been the gas provider supplier website. And we've also used a document. This document tool allows the agent to comb through PDFs, which in this case is a publicly available financial report. But in your cases, it can be any other form of PDF or web search URL as per your use cases. In fact, you can also add additional tools beyond these three. For an example, you can add a calculator. You can also connect to other applications, whether it's OData or leverage other open APIs. You can even connect to or leverage humans, so bring a human into the loop as one of your tools. Or you can even bring your own tool, whether it's another application of some sort and whatnot. So there's a lot of flexibility in how you can set this up and what tools you can leverage when you're creating your conversational AI agent. On top of that, you can also create new chats. However, for the purpose of this demo, I want to focus on an existing chat that we had earlier with this AI agent. So by clicking into it, we can actually see the entire chat history with this conversational AI agent. For an example, here we can see the question we had asked it along with the final response it had given us in our earlier video. Now, one of the great things about this is that we can also like or dislike the responses. And this is very important and a best practice as it allows us to facilitate the agent's self-examination and learning, as if we choose to, for an example, upvote or like a response, then this will be telling the agent that we prefer and like this specific thinking pattern, so that when it receives other similar like questions or prompts, it will follow that pattern of thinking to provide you with the response. Now, the other great thing about this AI agent is that you can also trace the responses. So as you can see here, we can see the entire trace from start to finish for when it provides back its final response to us. So from here, we can see from the moment we prompt the agent in our SAP Analytics dashboard that it immediately begins to direct instructions to the large language model, and from there decompose it and begin planning it before sending it back to the agent. From this point on, it's immediately sending its first query to the HANA database and returning it to the agent. Similarly, it continues this pattern until it finds the correct and necessary information needed. As you can see here, you can see that that agent has received, based on the queries to HANA, the correct column information in order to retrieve the late fee data. If we further follow the trace, you can also notice that once it has finished querying from HANA, it also then begins to utilize the other tools, which in this case is the web search. Upon returning information from the web search to the agent, it is then sent back with the LLM, where the LLM helps refine the answer before providing the final response. Now, as all of this is happening, the query that is being sent to HANA is also being leveraged by the HANA's vector engine and Ray capabilities to help ground the data to reduce the risk of hallucinations. So that when you have the results finally sent back to the agent for that final response and outcome, not only do you now have reliable results, but you can rest assured knowing that there have been measures taken to reduce the risk of hallucinations. Now, coming back to the chat history, the other neat thing about the Project Agent Builder is rather than going through the trace, you can actually also view its thoughts in a summarized manner in terms of how it came to that final output answer. And with a simple click of a button, you can actually expand the thoughts and see a summary of the key thoughts and what it had searched through in order to come up with this final output answer. So as you can see, there is a lot of flexibility in not only being able to create your agents with the variety of tools that you can leverage with it, but also a lot of flexibility in how you can assess the answers and help the agent improve itself, whether it's analyzing its trace, upvoting or downvoting the responses, and even being able to view its thoughts.